That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. I was making a joke. Justin sounded too serious. That is not true.
The sarcasm didn't come through well enough on that one. I'm Justin Lesko, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu brown belt and former pro MMA fighter.
And I'm Mike Callahan, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu brown belt and a law enforcement officer.
If you watched UFC 262 this past weekend, you know that Jacare Souza probably has a long recovery ahead of him.
Or if you're one of the 45,000 people who watched our video about it, you could hear his arm actually snap.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who has watched that video and made it so popular. Why not tell your training partners to watch it? Or, better yet, tell your training partners to listen to our show. But I digress. Even if you didn't just get your arm snapped in half, recovery is still important.
Yeah, so whether you're a hobbyist who trains once a week or you're a pro competitor who's grinding multiple times per day, we've all had those really intense training sessions. So we've come up with a list of things that you guys can maybe use to help you to recover from those sessions.
Some are simple things and you can do them at home, and others are more out there. We'll discuss some of our favorites, and I promise not to talk about that time I broke my arm too.
Don't make promises you can't keep, man.
Well, one thing I definitely will not stop talking about is Epic Roll and how much we love their stuff.
If you visit epicrollbjj.com and use the coupon code podcast15, you can get 15% off of anything you order. Anything. Hats, belts, skis, hoodies, rash guards, shorts, shirts, anything that you guys need, they got you covered. Go to their website, check them out.
Give them a follow on Instagram at epicrollbjj. Epic Roll is apparel made just for grapplers, so you can look your best both on and off the mats.
Yeah, so again, epicrollbjj.com, coupon code podcast15 for 15% off.
Now, I will do my best not to talk about my own arm breaking. Welcome to That Jiu Jitsu Podcast. I had this whole, lead in about Jacare breaking his arm and to talk about recovery, but apparently it was your cold could have been our true lead in.
I don't even want to call it a cold.
Well, it's not COVID, so it's not COVID, so you should.
It's not COVID because I'm vaccinated. But funny story, again, not a political podcast, but I got fucking mask shamed today.
For not wearing it or for wearing it?
For not wearing a mask. And if anybody knows me, I play ball wherever. I play to the crowd. I really had an issue with wearing mask outside. And especially if I go to my kid's baseball game, I don't stand near anybody. It's just me and Diana J out in the field, and we'll have, but they wanted us to wear whatever. But I had issues with that. But now since the mask requirements have been lifted and everything, I was in Upper Bucks today, and I go in and I have my mask in my hand, but I see people not wearing masks, and I'm like, I'm vaccinated, I got my 2 shots, I'm vaccinated. So I just go walking in, and this lady there's again other people not wearing their mask, and this lady just walks right up to me and she's like, why aren't you wearing a mask? I'm like, I don't, because I'm vaccinated. She's like, well, other people aren't. And I'm like, I don't even know what side you're on here. I'm like, I'll put it on.
Yeah. I don't mind wearing a mask. I am vaccinated, but I still have another week before they say you're safe in that 2 weeks post second dose. But even fully vaccinated, I'll still wear it if I'm at a place where they ask you to wear it. Does it really affect my life? No, it does not.
No,
it does not. It does not.
I'm fine with it. Typically I would. I don't know. Like I said, I got the mask out of my car. I was just walking in and I just saw people in there not wearing masks. So I'm like, okay, I won't put it on. And then this lady came up to me like a fucking junkyard dog. And I was like, I don't know if, first of all, let's get something straight. I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm the co-host of a pretty successful podcast. And you need to back the fuck off before you're the opening topic on our show tonight.
Little did she find out. Little did she know.
Little did she know. I was like, here's a business card. Tune in.
Let's talk about the topic that we're supposed to talk about that we haven't started talking about yet. As you know, if you've listened to this show, I stretch a lot. And you're not. I promised in the intro I would do my best. And you got to give me more than 5 minutes of credit
All
here that I
right, all
would.
right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
I love to stretch. I love to foam roll. I love all those things. I'm a big believer in prehab, so you don't have to rehab. If you're stretched and pliable and flexible and you take care of your body, then you're less likely to get injured, less likely to have problems. But part of prehab before one training session is the recovery from the last training session. So it sort of works in a loop. You're recovering from the last one to prepare for the next one. And I think there's a lot of things that you can do pretty easily to help yourself that don't take a ton of effort. And there's a lot of really goofy, fun things to talk about that you don't necessarily have to do. But I think foam roll is one of the easiest things that people can do in their lives to improve their bodies.
I never really got a lot out of foam rolling on the actual foam rollers. I know that there's different kinds. So I have a PVC pipe that I use. There's some areas that I think it works really well on. It's excruciating to use on your lower back, but yeah, I think it's great. I've started stretching a little bit more. I don't stretch as much as Justin does, but I'll stretch. Like if I'm doing something that day, I'll get up and I'll do like a quick 5 to 10 minute stretching routine in the morning because I feel like it helps me out. And then I'll do some static stretching following activities.
Yeah, I do stretch a lot because I work an at-home office job, so I'm just here sitting all day, which sitting is so terrible for you that I try to make a conscious effort to get up, move around, and do some dynamic stretching all day long. I'll static stretch at night or after activity, but a lot of these recovery things sort of fall under the umbrella of massage, under the umbrella of working on your like myofascial release is a sciencey word that makes me sound smart to say.
And that's my biggest thing. That is my shoulder. A year and a half ago, I felt was shredded, and I went to a chiropractor. I went to physical therapy. Well, I started with physical therapy. People were telling me I needed a shoulder replacement. I went to 3 different doctors, physical therapy, and then I finally went to a chiropractor who turned me on to lacrosse ball.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I use it on my back. I use it on my shoulders, on my feet. Like that's my go-to. I'm very irresponsible and I lose shit a lot. So I've lost probably 20 lacrosse balls.
I don't know if I'm confessing to a crime to Sergeant Callahan, but I keep a lacrosse ball on my passenger seat. So when I'm driving, I pick it up and I put it back in my back and I dig out knots with the lacrosse ball while I'm piloting my vehicle. I don't know whether that's illegal or not. But remember, I live in New Jersey, not Pennsylvania, so it's like the Wild West.
Just going to touch on a couple things here with that statement. Number one, I'm okay with you doing that. Let's just keep it out of any other things that it might slide in or out of while you're driving. All right,
that's fair enough. That's fair. It's fair.
Number two is I don't think your car's an aircraft. So we just operate them. We don't pilot.
No, you pilot it.
So no, we don't. I've seen your car. It's not a rocket ship. It's just a car.
But I use lacrosse balls well for my upper back, for knots in my back, in my neck, and on my feet. I do use a PVC pipe on my calves, hamstrings sometimes. I use the actual foam roller for IT band, quads, lower back. So I mix and match my options. But again, these are pretty standard things that you can get a lacrosse ball for like $2. You can get a foam roller for $20. But it wouldn't be our show if we didn't take things to the most extreme end. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I've posted maybe a year ago what Amanda Jean and I call the leg squeezers. And these companies are becoming more and more popular. They're very expensive products, and I have one because it was given to me for free to post on Instagram. And it works sort of like a massage where it looks like these very long boots, and I'll put the picture up on the screen if you're watching the YouTube version. So these things, they look like really long pants almost that you sit, they go over your foot, up your leg, and they use like an air compressor and they squeeze your legs like a massage. So it's squeezing, it claims to squeeze the lactic acid out of your muscles and it helps with your recovery. in the same way that you would get a leg massage, but this machine does it for you. And it is really relaxing.
So it relaxes you and it feels good, but is it effective in aiding you in your recovery? Like, do your legs feel fresher the next day as opposed to the way they would if you didn't use it?
It's not like a magic pill. If my legs are sore and I put the leg squeezers on, we're just going to stick with leg squeezers as the name of this product. If I put the leg squeezers on, I still feel sore when they're done, right? But if I'm not as sore the next day, is that placebo effect? Is that me just, I would have already not been sore the next day? Like, did it help? I find a benefit from it. So anecdotal evidence is I like it and I would recommend it.
I have the massage gun and that's super effective. I use that a lot so like my shoulder issues were causing issues in my back. So although like I had labrum tears, it was causing issues like tightness in my upper back and my lats. So that massage gun was huge. There's different like heads on it, right? So they have like forks, they have like a single head, like a pointy head. It has like different size like foam balls on there. There's different settings, but it's been huge for me, especially on my legs after I've been up in the intensity of my cardio. I would recommend it. And I got it on Amazon. It was like, I got it on sale on Amazon. I think it was like $45.
Yeah. I've never used one of the guns. I just haven't wanted to spend the money, and I haven't emailed any companies to send me one for free so I can promote it on the gram. It's sort of the same benefit as like massage, like all the things we're talking about, right? It's still under that umbrella. You're still putting force in the muscle, and
it's pinpoint, like with those with the compression sleeves, like this is just like, this is one area. I like there's the fork attachments for my calves, and my quads are they like I said, those foam balls that attach to it. So they have different attachments, and they beat the shit out of your legs. It hurts for a little bit while you're doing it, but the next day you're better off for it, or you're better off because of it.
And if you subscribe to Mike's OnlyFans, you can see him using the massage gun in various parts of his body.
Nah, I don't. Okay.
If you subscribe to us on Patreon, it's a good way to prevent Mike from ever having to make an OnlyFans.
Right, and I think that's what we need to get out there. Like, you're driving us. Our fans are driving us to the OnlyFans. Just subscribe to the Patreon.
More on that later. One of the weirdest ones that I think is still under the same umbrella is, have you ever used a TENS machine before? The electric shock machine?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, like, you're talking about stim therapy, right?
So TENS stands for Transcutaneous Electrical Nerve Stimulation, or TENS units for short. So basically,
just say stim. I've had that.
To say stim, I want to say TENS. I have used that as well. I saw no benefit from it. It wasn't for me. And if you've never used one or seen one before, it's these patches that get put onto your skin, like these little, like, if you ever had like they're
like leads. They're sticky leads.
Yeah, like a doctor's office, like a lead on your chest. You put it on a muscle, and this machine sends like an electric shock through the pad, and it like stimulates your muscle. And the idea is that it's supposed to like improve blood flow to and from the muscle and can reduce soreness and aid recovery. I have used one before. I thought it was junk and didn't do anything for me. It just was uncomfortable and painful for no benefit, but I'm sure there's people who like them because they still keep making these products, but I would miss that one out.
So I'm big on chiropractors. Like, I've had success with chiropractors and helping me with my issues with my back and my shoulder. But so I've had stim treatments there, and I actually have like an in-home, and I actually have like a personal one. Like, it's really small, but the biggest benefit I've experienced with them is using them before an activity. like using them and then going immediately into stretching and then an activity because it like warms the muscle up.
I never used it in that direction. I only ever used it as like a recovery post thing.
Yeah, I've never used it as a recovery thing. I don't know if that's, especially immediately following an activity.
So I had a medical experience with something similar to the stim/TENS shock unit thing. Someone I know at one point had an injury that required surgery, and they went to the doctor, and the doctor told them like, oh, before we fix this broken bone in the upper part of your body, we're going to give you this bone stimulator. And what it is, it's the same thing we just talked about. And it's like a sleeve that would go on, and it was supposed to send a shock and a electric stimulation through that injured area, and it was supposed to encourage healing. And you told that person that you had experience with it as well, and it did not work at all.
No, didn't work at all.
It did not work for this anonymous person we're talking about.
Yeah.
The doctor, I said to the doctor, I was like, listen, we can schedule the surgery now, or we can schedule it for a month of me using this electric thing first. What are the odds that I use this electric thing for a month and I come back to see you and it's healed? Like, what are the odds? He was like, oh, super low, like maybe 5%. Then why are you making me wait a month to have surgery? Why are you prescribing this to me? I still did it. It did not work.
I used that bone stimulator thing on my foot, and it was the bone underneath of my big toe. I had like a stress fracture, and that did nothing for it. It's on my left foot. That's why when I'm training or I'm wrestling, I don't shoot off of my left foot. I'm left-handed, and I'm a right leg lead leg wrestler. So I can't take a penetration step with my left foot. It's crazy. I can't do lunges on my left foot. And it's all because of that fucking bone stimulator.
One more really weird thing that I have no experience with. I do not know if you have experience with, but I feel like you would have told me. Remember when Michael Phelps showed up to the Olympics with all those dots on his back and cupping took over the world?
Yeah.
You can do that at home now. And if you don't know what we're talking about, cupping is where you take these like glass little cups, and they like create suction in the cup. So it pulls the skin up with the I don't know, I don't want to say science. Science seems like too heavy of a word here, but the air quote science is that it pulls the skin away from the fascia of your muscle, which allows the muscle to recover and heal quicker. Having now said that out loud, I'm glad I'm not using actual science. I'm using air quote science here. You can do this at home now. You can buy like instead of glass cups that they pull the air out of to create the suction, it's like a plastic that you can squeeze, put it on your muscle, let it go, and it'll create suction. And you can like rub it around an affected area. Haven't tried it. Seems like bro science. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments.
It is effective. I got it done by
you got it. You got cupped, and you didn't tell me you got cupped.
Yeah, it was with my shoulder. I got it. Like there was a massage therapist she actually trains Jiu Jitsu too. I don't know where she trains at now. She did this cupping on my shoulder, and all in all, the experience, like her work on my shoulder was great. I don't know how much of a part or how much of it was the cupping aspect of it, but my shoulder felt really good after a session.
It just seems so, I don't know. It seems like one of those things where they say a lot of words that sound technical and scientific, but seem kind of silly if you think about it for more than a second. So I haven't tried it. If somebody wants to send me an at-home cupping setup, I will try it and I will give you my honest feedback, but haven't done it.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some nutrition and non-massage related recovery.
Before you guys hit that subscription for the OnlyFans, make sure that you're subscribed to our Patreon account.
We do have a lot of cool shit coming out this week, and we have a lot of shit that's already out by the time you are listening to this episode. We have our blooper reel that dropped last week. We have the bonus episode Mike and I talked to you about last episode about Lloyd Irvin and all that controversy in court cases and all of that drama. Coming out shortly, we have our Q&A episode for the month. And if you're following us on Patreon, you get early access to episodes. So as soon as we record them and get everything edited, it's out to you right away on Patreon. And you're going to listen ad-free. So you won't have these interruptions where Mike's trying to get you to sign up for OnlyFans. Every episode is ad-free.
We have a bunch of tiers. The lowest tier starts at $3 a month. That's a great price for a ton of bonus content. So check it out. And now back to our show.
I think a lot of people neglect their nutrition as it pertains to how their body feels overall, their recovery, and prep for the next session. Not necessarily the sense of like their nutrition of, oh, we're trying to lose weight or, oh, we're trying to cut weight for a tournament. Nutrition in the sense of like, what are you eating to make your body function at its best? What are you eating to help your body recover the best?
I think a lot of people, especially people who are using jiu-jitsu to get back into shape, underestimate the toll that it takes on your body. So you really have to be calculated with what you're putting into your body if you're expecting to get the most out of, a training session. So what I mean by that is people will often, focus on carb intake or fat intake. They'll drop them to the floor, and then they'll wonder why they're dragging ass. So you have to be putting fuel into your body, especially on days where you're going to be grinding through those intense sessions.
I'm a person who I have taken supplements in my life, like multivitamin, vitamin D. I have a vitamin D I'm low on constantly, so I take that. I've taken protein, I've taken creatine, I've taken everything that is WADA legal, USADA legal. I've also had times where I don't take anything at all. Like right now, I'm taking 0 things. And
Same.
I do notice a benefit with certain things. I do notice certain things I don't think work. But like creatine, I've taken creatine on and off my entire adult life. And I think it's a benefit. But I don't like to be on something for a long time. I don't like to take a supplement for like indefinitely. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Yeah, I started taking creatine, I think it was my freshman year in high school. I've taken supplements since high school for the better part of 20 years, on and off. And, a lot of them have had creatine in it. I see benefits in creatine. I see some benefits in, a little bit of caffeine before workouts too. I'm not all about chugging pre-workouts, but having a little bit of caffeine prior to a training session isn't a bad thing. For me, like on days that I'm training, I make sure that my water intake is through the roof the day before and leading up to that training session. So gallon of water a day at a minimum, and then after that, I just try and house as much healthy food as I can immediately following a training session. That's it.
One of the downsides to creatine is if you're a weight restricted athlete and you're trying to cut weight for tournament weight, the creatine will cause your body to hold on to water. That's a downside. But to your point about drinking water, I notice it if I don't drink enough water during and after training. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night with a headache because I'm mildly dehydrated because I didn't drink enough after I got done training. I think it's something people don't think about. Like they think about like, all right, I'm sweating a lot right now while I'm working out, so I'm drinking a Gatorade or a water. Okay, I'm good. Right. I go home and I just go about my life, but like you're still more dehydrated than you think you are, and you shouldn't force yourself to drink water if you're not thirsty at all. But
no, you should. You should.
You're gonna get us blamed for someone like ruining their kidneys.
Don't drown yourself, but you should. Another common mistake is people think that like Gatorade is this healthy thing, and it's beneficial to drink like all the time. It's not. I don't. The only time that I'll drink Gatorade is during an activity when there's an active, output. Regular Gatorade's not Gatorade Zero is loaded with sugar. It's not good. It's not good.
No, Gatorade, like you're 100% right. Gatorade has a ton of sodium because you lose that when you sweat. Gatorade has a ton of
Right.
sugar because it's a quick burning carb that as you're doing activity, it's a quick fuel source that your body can use
Yep.
as energy, right? That's not good to drink if you're not doing activity. If you're
Yeah.
going to drink Gatorade while you're just sitting at your desk working, you might as well just drink a Coke.
Yep.
It's better tasting and it's more fun to drink a Coke
It
than a
is better
Gatorade.
tasting. Yes.
You might as well. But we sort of glossed over. We should go back to it for clarity's sake. Like the creatine thing. Creatine is designed to help you recover. It's designed to help your muscles recover more quickly, right? And there's a lot of supplements that are in that recovery umbrella. Like people take CBD as a recovery supplement. I do think that like creatine has been scientifically shown to work. It's clinically effective and it's not dangerous for you. What makes me nervous about supplements is that supplements are not at all regulated. And the term proprietary blend gets used a lot where companies can use proprietary blend where they don't have to disclose to you what's in that
Right.
proprietary blend because they can put anything in there. Supplements aren't regulated by the FDA. They're not tested by the government. So you can literally put anything in proprietary blend and sell it at the store. And I'm not like being dramatic or over the top. You could put anything in there. So if it's hard to weed out sometimes who's a good company, whose facility is clean.
Methamphetamine.
Yeah, if you're taking
Fentanyl.
pre-workout, there's a good chance you've taken meth in your life.
That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. I was making a joke. Justin sounded too serious. That is not true.
The sarcasm didn't
I feel
come
like
through well enough on that one.
I feel like we should each have like a button that like just sends out like the like just to alert everybody that is not true.
No,
Yeah,
that's not true. But
it's
what the point is, a lot of people think that dietary supplements are regulated and tested by the FDA, and they think of supplements the way they think of medicine, and it's not that. And it really is like the Wild West. And there are reputable brands. They're brands that I trust, and I would drink their protein. There are also brands that if you don't know who they are, you can't say with 100% certainty you know it's in the supplements. Look how many fighters get flagged for a tainted supplement. And I know tainted supplement is just a sort of
oh my
catch-all
god, the
excuse.
tainted supplements. Yeah, the tainted supplements were anabolic steroids.
Right. But again, you don't know if you buy supplements from a company that also makes things that are illegal in competition. You don't know about cross-contamination. You don't know if they're using the same mixers for the same products and you're going to have that. And I don't know. If you told me that I went to the store and the vegetables I bought, there was a chance there was meth in them, I probably wouldn't buy those vegetables. I would probably buy like different vegetables.
But just to be clear, we're not telling you that there's meth in your pre-workout.
Probably not.
No, we're telling you that there's not methamphetamine in your pre-workout. We're telling you that.
So what do you take? Do you take anything supplements right now? Or is it all just dietary?
Yeah, it's all dietary. So I'm getting back into lifting. My shoulder feels good. And I'll probably start ramping up the heavy lifting. And when I do that, I'll start supplementing it. I always take some type of pre-workout. I do like creatine, and I also take BCAAs. That's it, pretty much. Like I'm not training for Mr. Olympia. I those two things are help me in my recovery. They help me feel fresher, for my next workout than I would feel if I wasn't taking them. So that's pretty much all I need.
I'll drink a protein shake if right now I feel like I'm not getting enough protein in the day just from my food and from the diet.
Yeah.
They don't taste good. I don't like them, so I won't drink them for pleasure. I take them out of necessity. I have taken creatine in the past because it does help with recovery. I don't take it right now because I don't have anything that like
beats you up.
No, I'm beating the shit out of my body right now with runs and lifting and cycling, and my body could use it, but right now I don't have anything where I'm like, I need to make sure on the specific date I am 100% good to go. If my body's sore and tired, like that's okay. I'm not limited in what I'm trying to do by not taking creatine. And if I felt that I was, I might take it. But again, I have concerns about supplement safety. A lot of the things we talked about tonight, you could do without. You don't need to take supplements. You don't need to, you got to drink water, but you don't need to preload with water. You don't need the foam roll. You don't need a electric shock machine or a massage gun, but they'll help. Like they'll help you be a better jiu-jitsu athlete.
Get a massage gun.
And I know we didn't talk too much tonight about like specific, like this is good for jiu-jitsu, and because they're just talking about your body. Your body needs to be well recovered for your next training session, whether that's in the gym or rolling. So take care of your body.
Jiu-jitsu is good for your body.
Is it though?
Jiu-jitsu is great for your body.
All right, I'm going to agree with you just for the sake of wrapping the show up, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Take care of your body. Do some stretches. That's it. Drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. And stretch. Foam roll. You can be cool as us.
Put the proper fuel into your body.
Drink water. Stretch. Foam roll. Eat good food. And you can be just like us. You're heroes.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, we put the links below to our social media accounts. So if you want to follow the show or follow us individually, give those links a click and check them out.
Make sure you follow Epic Roll on Instagram at EpicRollBJJ and visit their site, epicrollbjj.com. Use the coupon code podcast15 to take 15% off your order. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and why not share the show with your friends, because I think they'll like it. I'm biased, but
that's what friends do.
That's what friends do.
Say, drink 6 gallons of water a day.
I will not say that because that's bad advice, but how about say drink more water?
Drink 16 gallons of water a day.
No, don't do that.
Like Justin says.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Drink 75 gallons, just like Justin Lesko said.
Maybe 1 gallon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.